Great. So good evening, everybody, and a huge welcome to Dacxi's Crypto for Beginners session. So today is the 7th of September. We're broadcasting this live at 8 p.m. in the evening. So hopefully you enjoyed the live, or if you are listening on Listen Again. So I will just share my screen, which is that button there. Show you some PowerPoint. I've got two screens here, so there's always that moment where you're not quite sure if it actually works or not. So if I press that button there. So can I just have a quick thumbs up if you can see some slides and the right ones? I'm looking at you here, Hugh. Well done. I know I can rely on you. For those of you, there's quite a few new faces on this evening's presentation. If you're new to Zoom, congratulations on getting on. Can be a little bit tricky. So there's a chat function at the bottom of the screen. So if you wish to chat whilst I'm talking, I will try and view the chat, which has, as I've said, that just disappeared, which is no good at all. Where's the chat gone? Excuse me, it'll be there in a second. So yeah, if you have any comments whilst I'm talking, feel free to note them down. If anything particularly appeals to you, or you particularly can relate to what I'm saying, or you have any questions, feel free to note it down. I will try and look at it whilst I'm talking. If not, I'll come to it at the end. And of course, there's going to be loads of opportunity for Q&A to ask you any questions. I am recording right now, and I will halt the recording so anyone that's listening live can ask questions, which perhaps they don't necessarily want to broadcast to a larger audience. So a quick disclaimer, the information I'm going to give you over the course of this presentation is not investment advice, financial advice, or trading advice. Rather, it is education, inspiration, and information. We do run this session fairly regularly. We had some time off over August just because everybody was on holiday, but we do run these every couple of weeks, really just as an introduction to crypto. So Dacxi is a platform, so we allow people to purchase crypto using, normally in the UK, British pounds. We do have a global audience, but it allows people to purchase crypto in a safe, secure and easy way. And we seek to be the leading business to help people that are new to crypto. The vast majority of our customers, it's the first time they've purchased crypto when they come to us. And we're very education led. So we're just in the process of migrating to a new website, but our tagline is that we seek to make crypto easy to understand, and we are currently the leading business to explain it to people that are very curious but are new to crypto as a theme. So we'll try and explain crypto in a very friendly and jargon-free way. There isn't loads and loads of trading information or loads of complicated graphs. It's been a long day for me in the UK. I'm sure most people listening, so we try and keep it quite lighthearted. So some of the things we'll cover over the next 20 minutes or so, the basics of crypto. I think lots of people have now heard of Bitcoin, but don't necessarily know how crypto more broadly works. Obviously, you do tend to see it in the press now quite a bit, how you can make money out of it, what to avoid. We acknowledge there's been lots of bad products, bad exchanges and bad ideas, so how you can keep yourself safe within crypto, where we feel we're at in the investment cycle, and of course, how you can get involved if you're interested to do so. So as I mentioned, we are considered an authority in crypto education. We do believe that there is a real need for people to understand what's going on in the current financial system. We put out a huge amount of content around what's happening globally, both in terms of the economy and in terms of banking infrastructure, and of course in terms of crypto. So you'll actually see a lot of press coverage of Dacxi. This is just a small selection of what you'll be able to find. We are just updating our website to include all our press coverage, but you can get that from whoever introduced you to Dacxi, or if you're a member of our WhatsApp group, which is very active, you'll see any press coverage that comes out, which right now is probably up once a week when we're spoken about. So that might be in the mainstream media, in fintech publications, or of course in cryptocurrencies. I personally write very frequently, and I am considered an authority in the space. So you're in good hands to hear about it from me this evening, or indeed listening live. So a quick run through of where we're at the moment, and really why lots of people are changing their attitude towards crypto. So obviously coronavirus has been an unprecedented situation. I think the word unprecedented probably doesn't do it justice. And if you start looking at what's going on globally, it really is some quite frightening times. So we've seen the FTSE 100 go down about 20% doing some figures earlier this afternoon, which I'll share with you in a couple of slides' time. And obviously the FTSE 100 is the value of the UK's top 100 traded companies. And obviously it's seen as a health check for the UK economy. And a lot of our financial products, pensions, things like that are based on it. So lots of people that own stocks and shares are pretty sad. We're down about 20% year to date at the moment. And obviously that's a situation which is reflected globally. And coronavirus is estimated to have caused around $9 trillion worth of damage worldwide. And that, of course, has to be paid back. So we're only really now getting an understanding in the UK of what's really the long-term damage of that, how big the bill is, and of course, how it's going to be paid and by who. But I think it's pretty obvious that, of course, the money machine is very heavily printing. We're expecting a fair amount of inflation. And of course, it's fairly widely held that taxation will be going up. So I think a lot of people are quite concerned about the short and medium term outlook. We're obviously only just coming out of everyone's jobs being furloughed, so we don't really know what those long-term unemployment rates look like. We do know that they're going up. And the other thing, of course, is that the savings rate is fairly horrible. So I did a bit of research recently at moneysupermarket.com, which is one of the big comparison websites. And you'll tend to find that the savings rates for cash on account is less than 1%. Fairly similar situation across a lot of the Eire products and stuff like that. And of course, inflation is on the up. So of course, lots of people are concerned about that. And for that reason, they are switching some of their cash to crypto. And look, I think a lot of the big investment banks, asset managers and hedge funds are talking a lot more actively and positively about crypto as a good way of hedging against what's going on right now. I'll talk about some of those big businesses that you will have heard of in a couple of slides' time. I think the other thing that's worth talking about is house prices. There has been a bit of a bounce in house prices due to the tax holiday, the stamp duty holiday that we've seen bought in. But it's highly likely that the yields that are being received on buy-to-let property are still quite poor. So there's a lot of talk about commercial properties being very much in trouble. There's of course so many people now working from home, there's not as much need for commercial property. And whilst the average house price in the UK have gone up, there's a real sense that we're probably at the top of the cycle, both of property and of stock markets, a lot of money being printed and flooding the economy. And of course, traditionally where people really did want to get involved in property, which was great, those buy-to-let deposits are huge. So where I'm based, which is just west of London, down in the southeast, you realistically need £50,000 plus to purchase buy-to-let. And the average customer that uses the Dacxi platform, of course, has a lot less. So we tend to see the majority of our customers have between £1,000 and £10,000 on the platform. And the interesting thing about that is the vast majority of our business is repeat purchase. We actually have an entry level of £100 on our platform. So lots of people tend to just start off in quite a small way, put a small amount of money on the platform, make sure they're happy with it, and then put more into crypto as they see fit. And often they'll do that on a monthly basis, which is great. So I just want to take a moment to look at what's happening in terms of year to date. So we're very focused on what's called the blue chip cryptos. So those are the coins that are well established and reputable. There's a huge amount of coins, you know, thousands and thousands of coins out there for people to choose from. So it's a real headache to work out which of those coins are a good idea. So as a business, we are extremely focused on the major ones, which are Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And the reason for that is we feel that they have a much better what's called use case, which is the potential audience. And of course that the performance they've shown this year to date is phenomenal. So this YTD means year to date, so performance since the 1st of January. So Ethereum is up 159%. These figures are correct as of this afternoon. I was doing them about 4 o'clock today. Bitcoin's up 33%. The DAX is up 27% and is just about to have a further 25% increase. Litecoin's up 12%. And just for a little bit of comparison, the FTSE 100 is down 22%. So again, just for reasons of diversification, lots of people that traditionally would not have considered crypto, if the UK was doing really well, if everything else was performing beautifully, they probably wouldn't consider crypto, but because of the environment out there, they're just looking for a bit of diversification. I was really amused to see recently there was a story reported in the Times, which is probably the most conservative and right-wing publication you can get in the UK. And they reported on someone in their 80s choosing to switch some of their investments into crypto and singled out Bitcoin. So when you get press coverage like that in mainstream press of an older crowd looking to diversify, It's very interesting. The FCA wrote a research note over the summer, which you can find online for free. If you just put in FCA crypto research note, you will find it. And that estimated that just over 3% of the UK population holds crypto, and that's up approximately double on last year. So it's very much a marketplace which is growing. So one of the things we talk a lot about is where those crypto prices might go. And there's a lot of chat, both from articles that are in the press that Dacxi puts out, a lot of our own content that you can find on social media or on webinars like this, or some of the ebooks that we have. We talk about where we think crypto is going. And one of the reasons why people are so excited about Bitcoin is that they feel that there's some substantial growth to be had there. So if you look at our bundle, which comprises 50% Bitcoin, the reason for that is there's an awful lot of market analysis in the next couple of years. They'd be expecting about a 10-fold increase. And one of the reasons for that is that Bitcoin is a better version of gold. You might hear it referred to as digital gold. And because it's better, faster and quicker, cheaper and easier to, there's no transport cost essentially, it anticipated that a reasonable amount of the global audience for gold that use it as a store of wealth, store of value, will move into gold. And if only a few percent do that, it would give you a 10-fold improvement on today's Bitcoin price, obviously, which is fantastic. So huge amounts of market data, which you'll see coming out of Dacxi, which we try and summarize in a fairly abbreviated format, just to be able to share it with our platform users. So I just want to take a quick look at what's happening more broadly. Blockchain is the underlying technology for cryptocurrencies. It's very simply a new type of database, and it underpins the cryptocurrencies and the various coins. So blockchain very simply is a database which is held across its users. Traditionally, a database was held in one place and people pinged it for data. Now that's held across lots of users. So the interesting thing about that is you sometimes see it called distributed ledger technology. It's not a new technology by any stretch of the imagination. It's been around for a number of decades, but it's really more recently that it's gained a lot of traction. So it's certainly a proven technology now. This is Forbes blockchain list of 50 firms that are using it. This was published last year. And you'll see that there's a huge application for technology across a large number of industries, whether it's capital markets, payments, infrastructure, and obviously lots and lots of different industries such as healthcare, agriculture, logistics, all using it. Dacxi for me personally is the third blockchain business that I've been involved in. And certainly year in, year out, you see a lot of very well-known companies, some of the world's biggest brands getting involved in it. So I think, you know, it's a real leap of, I was saying it before coronavirus, a real leap of idea to say you've gone from having money in your wallet to having purely digital money, but obviously particularly via coronavirus, cash is somewhat falling out of favour for hygiene reasons, and lots of people are now using purely payments on cards, touchless payments and what have you, for reasons of not wanting to physically handle cash. So if we look at some of the effects of these big brands that are globally recognized using crypto, obviously that's a really great story for crypto as an industry, and of course has a positive effect on prices. But I think it's a very sensible question, you know, is crypto real? There's a lot of talk around Bitcoin, particularly a couple of years ago, 2017. The marketplace really exploded. And lots of people that got involved really early saw returns of, you know, thousands of percent, which is wonderful. But, you know, I think the world sort of really took up and took notice and felt it was probably a bit too new and scary an idea. So fast forward to today, obviously some of the world's biggest payment businesses are using it. And I think it's a very sensible question. If I purchase crypto, whether I buy myself, you know, £1,000 worth or £100 worth, or, you know, 10 quid's worth through one of the other platforms, is it real? You know, is crypto actually a real concept? So I just want to give you a couple of ideas of some of the firms that are using it and how. So some of the world's largest payment businesses are on board. So MasterCard has crypto wallet projects, and it has 80 patents within blockchain technology. Visa, obviously a very well-known payment company, has 24 patents in blockchain, and actually via Coinbase you can pay today in crypto, and they actually are personally investing in funding a number of crypto startups. Over the summer, earlier this summer in July, they announced they'd be working more closely with crypto platforms to try and bridge that gap between crypto businesses where you can hold your crypto and their merchants. So Visa has just over 61 million merchants, so obviously a massive potential audience for crypto. And actually, interestingly, Visa very much works with global policy makers including the World Economic Forum, to try and talk about making policy recommendations around central bank digital currencies that I'll talk about on the next slide. PayPal, again, very well known if you're a bit of an eBay fan. It's used in, and of course many other people that use it outside of eBay. It's used in 200 countries. Again, they've got patents in various blockchain arenas. And they announced over the summer as well, they'll offer crypto to their users. And it's reported they have 320 million plus users. So just to say that again, between Visa, which is 61 million merchants, PayPal, which is 320 million platform users, that is a huge, huge audience for crypto. So people like myself that are really passionate about crypto will talk about it being a better way of transferring wealth around the globe almost instantaneously. So unsurprisingly, a lot of the world's biggest retail businesses are very interested in this technology. And of course, you know, if you look at people like eBay, they're talking about wanting to accept Bitcoin via their platform. Amazon is already collaborating with numerous blockchain development businesses. And you can actually today spend crypto via a company called Fold at Amazon, Starbucks or Uber. So all those companies are not updating their platforms at a cost of tens of millions of dollars for the love of it. They're doing it because they believe that technology is coming. One of the things I talk about, I think there's a few faces on this live call that are probably as old as me or maybe even older. I can remember paying with a card and a checkbook, and they would use that machine that took an imprint of it. And I think back and think how long ago was it when I last saw one of those? It's probably 10 or 15 years ago. So this financial technology just comes in waves, and we talk a lot about waves of adoption, and obviously being part of a new wave of adoption obviously is profitable, which is great. There's also a lot of attention on blockchains from the big boys. I want to talk about the central banks. So the central banks obviously are very important in each country. They set interest rates. They're responsible for the currency. And the World Economic Forum last year reported that a good number of central banks are looking at digitizing their currencies. So that means that they will be looking to have a currency which is purely digital. That includes the Bank of England. You see quite a lot of chat coming out from the Bank of England about digitized currency, and a number of others that are very positive about it. And earlier this year, it was reported that about 80% of the world's central banks are working on central bank digitized currency. So look, again, technology that even if you choose not to get involved in crypto today, it's highly likely that you'll become involved using it, even if you don't realize. And actually, I've just written an article for the press, which should be out the next week or so, where I talk about the fact that the central banks are moving towards digitized currencies. It makes perfect sense to me that crypto, particularly the larger ones like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, are what I call the heir apparent. And when that's out, that article, you'll see it on our social media channels. So just to give you a sneak peek. So look, obviously for many of our platform users that are, you know, putting on £100 into crypto just as a starting point, or are returning for repeat purchase and have thousands of pounds worth of crypto holdings, they're really looking to create wealth for themselves. We very much see ourselves as a business where we're assisting our platform users in growing their crypto holdings. So unsurprisingly, a lot of the big banks are now very interested in crypto. It saves them money and it solves problems. So as a way of example, Bitfinance earlier this year moved $1.1 billion worth of Bitcoin, which was at the time their largest transaction to date, and it cost them less than $1. So for those kinds of technologies which are faster and cheaper, obviously the big banks, hedge funds and asset managers are interested. So BlackRock, which is the world's largest asset manager, they hold just under $7 trillion in assets under management. They have active praise for blockchain. Citi and JP Morgan are tier 1 banks. DTCC is a company you've probably never heard of. It stands for the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, and it clears the vast majority of securities transactions in the US. And it's close to $1.7 quadrillion in value worldwide. It's by a long way the highest value financial processor in the world. And again, they're talking about blockchain technologies. One of my favorite things about the summer, again, I've written a bit of stuff for the press about this, is Goldman Sachs announced it hired a new global head to oversee its digital assets. And earlier on in the summer, it said, don't touch crypto, it's not an asset class. I thought it was really funny that literally weeks later, although it's not an asset class, they're hiring a head just to make sure they keep an idea of what's going on, which I think probably says it all. So this is a quick graph from an ebook that we released earlier this year. I will, the little link for it is in the bottom left-hand corner. You can also get live market data for free from CoinMarketCap, which is a really good way of engaging it. I'm not quite sure I've got a red line there, never mind. So look, we very much believe that we're expecting a boom. So look, there is volatility in crypto, and it's really important that people understand that. Unusually, we are not a trading platform. We do have people that use our platform to trade, but the vast majority of our platform users are looking for a longer term holding. So we feel like there's been a number of booms, and of course they do tend to settle after each boom, but you'll also see that those volumes have substantially grown. So if you look at year-on-year volumes, there's some really huge volumes that are coming through. So we feel that that fifth boom is likely to be generated by institutional investors, and as a business we put out a lot of content that we don't think there'll be a further boom after that, as the majority of those crypto assets move into investment banks and hedge funds. So it really is a unique opportunity for retail investors to get involved. So if you don't have a copy of that ebook, I would thoroughly recommend getting hold of it. So apologies, that number's a little bit out of date. There's now well over 6,000 cryptocurrencies. So look, there's huge amounts of currency out there for you to choose from. We have focused on those that have substantial trading volumes. So look, we want a coin where there has been tens of billions worth of dollars traded a day. For any of our platform users that wish to sell their crypto because they need an exit for any reason, it's important that there is a lively and liquid market. And each and every day, what's called those blue chip cryptos account for around 60% of traded volume. So just to say that again, if there's 6,000 cryptocurrencies, but 3 of them make up anywhere between 60, and it varies daily between 60 and 80% of daily traded volume, it means that the demand is very much focused on those. So a quick introduction to our exchange, some of which I'm sure you've picked up whilst I've been speaking. We're a digital asset exchange. We do exactly what a holiday money company does. If you're going on holiday and there's long flung days when we're able to travel, they're after euros or dollars, you go and exchange your local currency, which in my case is British pounds. So we allow people to buy, hold and exchange their crypto for sterling. We're very focused on retail business. I believe we're one of the only exchanges that does so. We have a UK office and we're licensed in Europe. We also have plans to list on the London Stock Exchange in the next 12 months. And we're very focused on education and community. So you'll see us putting out a lot of content, whether you prefer webinars or ebooks or looking at social media. We're a very prolific exponent of crypto and very keen to engage with people that are new. We're also very focused on having good customer service. So we have the largest client services team per user of any crypto business. And we have a very active Zendesk for anyone that has any queries. And we're also very focused on being a crowdfunder. So this is very much an introduction to crypto, but I would thoroughly recommend that you seek out some of the content we put out around our community coin, which is called the DAC, and our intentions to be a crowdfunder in the near future, which underpins the great returns that holders of the DAC coin have seen. So one of the things I'd thoroughly recommend if you're looking into digital assets is to look at a security rating. So every website in the world you can put through this Mozilla Observatory, which I think I've shared it. I'll share in the chat and I also share it in these slides. So any website in the world, you can double check how secure it is. Obviously, if you're going to put your assets online, that's really key that they're safe and secure. If like me, you're old enough to remember when telephone banking came in and then online banking, people were rightly very concerned it wasn't a safe way to store your wealth. So we have an A+ rating. So anyone can check on this website. It's completely free and easily accessible. I went through a stage of checking all the UK banks, and most of those UK banks, their online security rates between an F rating, and some of the more sort of newer digital banks occasionally get a C rating. So well worth checking if you're storing online. Again, for those of you that are familiar, it's very important that the platform used doesn't loan out your assets, which of course we don't. And of course that we hold them offline. So 98% of our assets are held in what's called cold storage, which means offline and not accessible from the internet. So there's 2 programs through Dacxi. Again, you can look at our website, there's a lot more information held there. We have the bundle, which for anyone that uses the platform, of course, those coins are held in your own account and your own name. but whatever you put on the platform, we automatically split between 50% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, 10% Litecoin. You then get 20% DAC, which is our community coin, and that's done really well so far. We've seen gains of several 100% over the last couple of years, and we have a substantial price increase coming on the 23rd of September. So if you haven't got involved with the DAC yet and you're about to do so, you'll see a substantial price increase. So the great thing about the blue chip bundle is across the Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, there's a very liquid market there. So at any point, you'll be able to sell your holdings if you wanted to. And we anticipate that the DAC will be on a external exchange by the end of the year. So the bundle is very good for flexibility. Again, it's split across the coins that we know are extremely popular, and it has massively outperformed a pure Bitcoin purchase by approximately double. So loads of people buy just Bitcoin because it's what they've heard of. Our bundle is very much set up to make sure it gives the maximum possible growth. The other thing, of course, is that loads of people we talk to aren't interested in the blue chips. They want to be on board really only with an up and coming coin. So for that reason, we also sell a DAC pack, which is a pure purchase of our DAC coin. Again, as I say, we've got a price increase coming on the 23rd of September. We also have a bit of an incentive that for anyone that purchases DAC, we give them a 70% bonus at the point of purchase. So for both those various products, the minimum investment is £100. We do accept company purchase, and we are currently working on an ISA product, which will be the first crypto ISA, we believe, in the UK, which we're really excited about. So the buying process is really simple. You can set up an account online. We've actually had a phenomenal trading period over lockdown, and obviously with the greatest of sensitivity, because of course COVID is truly horrible. We've been very privileged that we have a purely online journey, so all of our platform users can engage with us from home. So you can set up an account online. We are required by the FCA, which is our regulatory body, the Financial Conduct Authority. There's a requirement for what's called KYC, which is Know Your Client for anti-money laundering reasons. So we're required to have a proof of ID, so photographic, something like a passport or a driving license, and a proof of address, which is within 3 months. So typically a bank statement or a utilities bill. Once that is approved, you can fund your account, purchase those coins, and sit back and enjoy. So it's a very simple user interface. We are just transitioning to a new website as we speak, which we've had some really good feedback on. So very much designed to be light touch and user friendly. And of course, loads of support for everyone who perhaps is new to Dacxi or new to crypto, which is very often nearly everybody. So look, we try and keep these presentations short. I've got another minute or so that I'm probably allowed to speak before I have to stop recording. So do engage with learning. We are completely free. There's no obligation. You can absorb hours of learning from us with no obligation to do anything else about it. So do seek out all our content, whether it's webinars, social media, or ebooks. Loads of free resources that you'll find on our website. So again, if you haven't got these already, please do seek them out. And we have loads of online events. If you're listening live or someone pointed you towards this presentation, there's loads of stuff that's live. You can see that on our website. There's a little tab called events. We broadcast each and every day, so you can very much engage with the content and ask questions of people like me, or of course talk to the person that introduced you to Dacxi. So that's what I'm going to record live for this evening, so I will just stop recording.